On December 7, 1941, the Japanese Navy sent a surprise attack on the United States. The bombing of Pearl Harbor in Hawaii Territory devastated American history. Japanese Americans were now discriminated by the United States and their allies. Due to mistrust and retribution, President FDR authorized Executive Order 9066 in February of 1942. Anyone with Japanese ancestry were forced into internment camps that were advertised to be clean and orderly, but in reality they were dehydrating, insincere, and unfinished. The intention was to prevent betrayal and spies, but there was no point in capturing innocent children, loyal men and women, and even the elderly.
Manzanar, a destination for Japanese Americans to be imprisoned. But why? What did these individuals do to deserve this? They did nothing. Now they're put in the middle of a desert. Would you want yourself there? I didn't think so. Now why would they want to be there? 110,000 people of Japanese ancestry will rest in these concentration camps until the end of World War II. Since February 19, 1942. The first camp of 10 was Manzanar. It was bounded by barbed wire and guard towers. It rested in the Sierra Nevada mountains. 10,000 people will be confined in Manzanar until the end of the war. And this was all the camps are caused by injustice and humiliation were suffered here as a result of hysteria, racism, and economic exploitation.
Fred Korematsu, an American-born U.S. citizen, was arrested for refusing to follow Executive Order 9066 that was forcing Japanese Americans to leave their homes and report to a relocation camp. The relocation camp were to separate which citizens were loyal or disloyal. Executive Order 9066 was an unconstitutional military action and dehumanized Japanese Americans. Korematsu and Justice Owen Roberts both thought relocation centers were a euphemism for prisons. There was no real evidence that Korematsu was acting disloyal against America. The nation's wartime security concerns were not adequate to strip Korematsu and other internees of their constitutionally protected civil rights.
Sui Endo was a 22-year-old worker for the California Department of Motor Vehicles. After attack on Pearl Harbor, Endo and other Nissan workers were harassed and fired from their jobs. James Purcell, a San Francisco-based attorney, used Endo's case for the habeas corpus petition because she was Christian who had a brother in the U.S. Army and never been to Japan. Endo didn't even know how to speak nor read Japanese. Purcell argued that Endo had her right to report to work as a state employee taken away. Endo's removal was undeclared martial law under Public Law 503.
Okay. Local citizens all throughout the United States are suffering grave consequences. Gordon Kiyoshi Hirabashi was a student at the University of Washington. However, due to his Japanese ancestry, he was wrongly accused. While taking a stroll one night around campus, Hirabashi was accused of violating the curfew order. When he refused to be relocated, he was once again punished for practicing his rights as not only an American citizen, but as a human being. How could we stand for such injustice?
Japanese Americans should be treated with the same rights and respect as everyone else. Korematsu, Endo, and Hirabashi were all U.S. citizens that did no harm before or after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Yet they were all placed into dreadful camps such as Manzanar. Even then, some of the internees volunteered themselves into the U.S. military in the war against Japan to prove their loyalty to America. Japanese Americans are U.S. citizens too, so why should it be okay to strip their rights and be incarcerated?